The anime takes place in a futuristic world, where technology has become so advanced that humans have created AI androids called Giftia. These AI robots come in various ages, heights, and characteristics. With the help of artificial souls, Giftias are able to feel and express human-like emotions. And because of this, they have acquired a place among humans, as someone's wife, daughter, father, or lover. However, just like everything in this universe, they also have a time limit. In the case of Giftias, as their time limit approaches, they start to malfunction and have a hard time walking and communicating. To solve this, there are private companies that are in charge of doing the retrieval procedure. Our protagonist, Tsukasa, is a young man who failed his exams after he suffered from appendicitis. Fortunately, his father has a friend named Godo, who is the owner of the biggest retrieval service company. At his friend's request, Godo gives a chance to Tsukasa to work in a small branch office. However, if there is any complaint about his performance, he will immediately fire him. It's Tsukasa's first day, and with excitement he greets everyone. However, most of them don't even react. The branch chief introduces himself and tells Tsukasa to talk with Kazuki about anything he needs to know. Because he is a newbie, there is no one to pair him up with. A girl named Isla enters the room. Tsukasa recognizes Isla as he saw her in the elevator a few weeks ago. The chief suggests Isla to be Tsukasa's partner. However, Kazuki is against it. Isla is a veteran Giftia and she doesn't want to throw her back in the fieldwork. But after Isla's request, Kazuki teamed them up. Tsukasa greets her and asks if she remembers him. Isla knows him. But when Tsukasa asks why she was crying, Isla starts giving an error and tells him to repeat the question. And no matter how many times Tsukasa repeats, she still gives an error. Two of Tsukasa's colleagues, Marcia and Zack, notice him holding hands with Isla and start warning Isla to make sure to watch her back, because it seems Tsukasa has a dirty mind. Afterward, Marcia tells them about an assignment they have to join for. In the car, since Tsukasa is still a newbie, Marcia and Zack tell him everything he needs to know about his work. And for the assignment, they arrive at the client's location. Zack does the negotiating. And after the owner signs the agreement, they are emotional to send their Giftia away because he was almost like their son. Tsukasa asks why they are emotional when the Giftia will come back as a better android. Marcia explains that during retrieval, the Giftia's memories are ripped away. As they spend a lot of time with humans, it's to make sure their owner's private data is not compromised. And after wearing the ring, the memories are wiped off. Tsukasa finally understands the reason and finds it heartbreaking. There is no way to bring back the memories as it is a legal requirement. With the assignment being done, Marcia tells Tsukasa that he will have to do 2 to 3 retrievals in a week. Tsukasa is surprised to know there are so less retrievals and asks if the business is going okay. Marcia explains that not every owner is easily going to hand over their Giftias as they hold precious memories together. That's why the Giftias like Zack and Isla have to be persuasive and show their charm to convince the owners. But in case the owner is not handing over the Giftia before the due date, they have no other choice but to use force. For the next assignment, Marcia supervises while Tsukasa and Isla do their work. Isla is a veteran and Marcia is excited to see how she does her work. Upon reaching the residence, Isla reports an error and requests Tsukasa to press the doorbell. After ringing the bell, a sudden noise comes from inside the apartment. Isla senses something and alerts Tsukasa that the owner is running away with its Giftia. Isla gets on the railing and jumps off to catch them. However, she ends up destroying the garbage dump. As a result, they were scolded after the office received a lot of complaints from the neighbors. Just then, Kazuki enters the room and takes away Tsukasa. She warns him to not push Isla too far again. Tsukasa is curious and asks why Kazuki is so protective of Isla. It is revealed that Isla and Kazuki used to work in a team, but a few weeks ago, they had to dissolve it, and no one knows the reason. Marcia gives Tsukasa one of her assignments. And the next day, with Isla, he goes to the owner's house. However, the owner is furious and tells them to go back. Day after day, Isla tries to convince her, but the owner is stubborn and refuses to let them in. One day, Isla trespasses the house and falls on the bushes. Nina, a young Giftia, notices her and finds it funny. Isla has gotten dirty, so Nina tells her to have a bath in their house. The owner is reluctant, but after Nina's request, she let her in. While Isla is bathing, Tsukasa tries convincing the owner to let them retrieve Nina. Because after it, she will come back with a better operating system. The owner gets angry and tells Tsukasa that unlike him, she doesn't see Nina as an item that can get better with just some repair. For her, Nina is a family member. She would rather die than lose her. Inside the bathroom, Isla asks Nina if she's scared of the retrieval. Nina replies that she is. However, if she isn't retrieved, then she will break and it will make her grandma sad, which in turn will make her sad. And she doesn't want it. Outside the bathroom, the owner hears it and goes to Tsukasa. She apologizes for being selfish. She was only thinking of herself and not what will happen to Nina if she is not retrieved. She signs the agreement. And before sending Nina for retrieval, both the owner and Nina get emotional and bid the last goodbye to each other. The following day, Tsukasa meets Hanada, who is one of the veterans working for over a decade. After greeting him, Tsukasa with Isla goes to their next job. Isla does the negotiating. However, she is surprisingly terrified and the owner ran away with his Giftia. Tsukasa goes after them. But when Isla tries to come after, she trips and damages the factory's equipment. After wiping off the dirt, they gave an apology to the office. Michiru is pissed and wonders why a complete newbie is working in their office. Even though it was Isla's mistake, Tsukasa doesn't snitch and apologize. Later at the office, Michiru wonders if she was too harsh on him, and now she regrets it. Hanada teases her by saying that she fights Tsukasa because she likes him. However, Michiru gets angry and is quick to refuse it. After work, Kazuki grabs Tsukasa and takes him to a nearby restaurant. There, she apologizes for making Isla stuck with him. She knew the majority of the time it's Isla who messes up, but in the end, he has to take the blame. Despite it, she requests him to get along with her. Tsukasa tells her that he really wants to get closer to Isla and always tries his best. Just to be cautious, Kazuki asks if he is into her. Tsukasa refuses and explains that he just wants to know her as a colleague. The next day, Tsukasa receives a message about Isla and goes to the unit testing room. There, he meets Eru and Mijikiro, who are the engineers that take care of their office's Giftias training. They collect data on Giftia and accordingly make improvements. Isla has come here after she was facing a lot of problems with the fieldwork. She doesn't want to hold back Tsukasa and wants to improve her abilities. Tsukasa gives her courageous words as a partner and tells her to rely on him if things get out of hand. Before leaving for another test, Isla thanks him. Later, Michiru got to know that all the reports Tsukasa was handing over to her about his and Isla's work were fake. He made them so that he is the one to blame. She is pissed about it but finds it cool. After returning from the unit testing room, Tsukasa asks how he can negotiate with the owners. Everyone is surprised because it's Giftia's job. Michiru gives him some tips. Tsukasa is thankful, but Michiru tells him to not be because it's her job as a superior. Before leaving with Zack to her job, she apologizes for saying mean things to him earlier. The next day, Tsukasa with Isla goes to the same owner, and this time he does the negotiating. The owner agrees to sign the agreement and give the Giftia for retrieval. The next day, after seeing their coordination has improved, after the chief's approval, Rin tells Tsukasa to live together with Isla in the office dorms from now on. After work, they both go to their apartment where the other team also lives. Soon after entering, Isla sits on a chair that recharges her battery. No matter how much Tsukasa tries to communicate, she doesn't respond and lives like there is no one around. Tsukasa is worried and asks his senior what he should do. Ren advises that he should start bulking up to show his presence and manliness to Isla. Tsukasa is excited and agrees. At night, when Isla is recharging, suddenly Tsukasa takes off his shirt and starts doing pull-ups and dumbbells. Isla finally notices him. However, the dumbbell slips off and gets stuck into the wall. After hearing the noise, Michiru comes running asking what happened. On checking the situation, she is disgusted and spread all over the office that Tsukasa is a pervert. This time, the chief suggests Tsukasa to improve his cooking, as girls love to communicate with guys who can cook well. At night, Tsukasa tries to cook, however, he ends up raising the fire alarm. The next day, everyone is in deep thought and doesn't know what to advise anymore. Constance comes forward and advises Tsukasa to stay close to Isla and try to help her whenever the need arises. At night, just like told, Tsukasa stays close to Isla. As she was about to step on a cloth, he rushes and removes it just so she doesn't slip. However, he ends up crashing and ends up causing a lot of noise. Michiru comes running to check the situation, and this time she just gives a stare. At last, Hanada comes and tells Tsukasa his special trick. To make a girl talk, he needs to create a situation where he is on top of her but make it look it was an accident. At night, Tsukasa looks for the opportunity to apply Hanada's trick. Isla gets up and goes to bring some tea. As she approaches him, she trips. Before she falls, Tsukasa saves her. And just like expected, Tsukasa is in a perfect situation. However, the noise caused by the cups falling made Michiru come. On witnessing the situation, she is pissed and had enough. Knowing things are not going well between him and Isla, Kazuki advises Tsukasa to take Isla out on their day off. Tsukasa agrees, and on their day off, he takes her out. On seeing Isla doesn't have enough clothes, Tsukasa gifts her a dress. Isla takes it. While she is trying it on, Tsukasa waits outside. However, she ends up getting stuck in the clothes. After she is freed, they go to buy some herbs into an amusement park. Isla finds it weird and asks Tsukasa what he is trying to do since morning. Tsukasa explains that he just wants to make memories with his partner on their day off. Isla is in shock to hear it. She reports an error and tells Tsukasa that if that's the case, then she cannot stay at the amusement park. She is an AI robot who is built to do the retrieval job, not make memories with humans like other Giftia. She leaves. When Tsukasa reaches the apartment, he sees her and gives the gift he bought. Isla felt sorry for leaving earlier. To make up, she makes some tea. The next morning, after so many days, Isla finally greets Tsukasa good morning. Tsukasa is very happy and couldn't hold his excitement. Even at the office, he is smiling. Kazuki receives new client names and distributes them to the teams. Isla and Tsukasa receive a bit difficult case, so Michiru volunteers to go instead. But Kazuki refuses. She believes it's time for Tsukasa to gain some experience. Tsukasa and Isla go to their client location. Upon reaching, Marcia, the Giftia, greets them with enthusiasm. She tells them to have some rest, while Shota comes from the school. Looking at the photos, Tsukasa asks about it. Marcia reveals that, 3 years ago, Shota's parents passed away in an accident. Before it, they used to live a very happy life. Even as a Giftia, they treated her as their daughter. But after their demise, when Shota came to know that Marcia is an AI robot whose memory will be wiped off, he couldn't bear it and from then starts doubting everything and everyone. Just then, Shota arrives. He heard the things Marcia has told them, and warns Tsukasa and Isla that she is lying. He knows they are here to take away Marcia and demands to take his sign as quickly as possible, as he doesn't want to live with a liar. Tsukasa tries to calm him down, but Shota furiously goes inside his room. Marcia shows them the picture album. She tells them ever since she told Shota about her being a Giftia, he started doubting that his parents also weren't real. Whenever she tries to talk about the memories they shared when they were still alive, Shota now refuses to remember them and tells her to stop lying. Tomorrow it's Shota's birthday. To cheer him up, the next day they plan to make a special cake as per Shota's mother's recipe, which he used to love. After knowing the case, Michiru and Zack also join them. Before Shota arrives, they all prepare their best to make the cake. Shota finally arrives. As he enters the room, they all wish him a happy birthday. However, despite all the efforts, Shota isn't pleased. Because he knows that soon all of them will leave him away. He sees the cake and starts remembering the time he spent with Marcia and his parents. Shota gets emotional and starts eating it. With a shaky voice, he tells that this cake is bad and the one his mother made was the best. He apologizes to Marcia for saying mean things to her and hugs her tightly. With this, Shota is finally ready to bid a proper goodbye to Marcia for taking care of him. The day before retrieval, someone rang Shota's doorbell. He goes to check and sees it's a someone for the retrieval. Shota is confused and inquires about Tsukasa and Isla. But the person tells him that he is here to replace them as they had to do some urgent work. The stranger asks about Marcia, and Shota tells him that she has gone shopping at a nearby grocery store. Marcia on her way back gets tasked by the same person who came as the replacement. It's been hours since Marcia left. Shota is worried and calls the office to ask about Marcia. He tells Tsukasa about the person who came instead of them to retrieve Marcia. Tsukasa and Isla go to Shota's house and are filled in on the entire situation. Tsukasa and Isla suspect that the person was an illegal retriever who sells giftias in the black market. They tell Shota that the person has abducted Marcia. But they promise him to not worry because they will get her back. It's revealed that Marcia only has 24 hours left. And because the situation is so severe, all the superiors are involved in this case. The chief reports to Godo about the involvement of black marketers and a Giftia who's about to become a wanderer. Godo, on knowing they only have time by tomorrow's 1 p.m., declares it's an emergency and orders to summon our security. On the other side, everyone is searching for Marcia persistently. It's 6 a.m. and still no clue has been found. With our security involved, they got the info about the possible location of Marcia. The leader of our security warns Kazuki to bring back Marcia before her time limit. Because if she becomes a wanderer, they will have to take the matter into their own hands. Everyone is terrified of Marcia becoming a wanderer because then, Giftia's limiters are removed, which enables them to have superhuman powers. The power is so immense that with just a slight touch, they can shatter human bone. The superiors have arrived at the location. As a last resort, they have given a gun to everyone, which allows them to destroy the Giftia's software. And once hit, the Giftia cannot be recovered. Zack, Michiru, Isla and Tsukasa are in one team. Tsukasa still doesn't know much about wanderers and asks if they know anything. Michiru reveals the time when her father, who was a Giftia, had his due date. At that time, Kazuki was in charge of the retrieval, but Michiru doesn't want her father's memory to be wiped and ran away with him. However, her father's time soon came. Soon after becoming a wanderer, he crushed Kazuki's leg and killed multiple our security officers. At last, he was taken out, but the damage was immense. Michiru knows she is the one to blame, and that's why since then she doesn't want it to happen to anyone else. As per the plan, they start checking the area. On the other side, Hanada's team comes across the person who abducted Marcia. Unfortunately, Marcia has become a wanderer and has gone berserk. Everyone is alerted to take the necessary methods to stop Marcia. As Tsukasa and Isla are searching for Marcia. On the way, they have an encounter with her. Somehow, Shota arrives there and tries his best to bring back Marcia to her senses. Isla tries to stop Marcia, but she is taken out. Afterward, Marcia charges at Shota with incredible speed and takes him away. Kazuki is alerted about the situation and using CCTV cameras, finds Marcia's location. As per the location, Tsukasa and Isla go there. They spot her and try convincing her to come back to her senses. Fortunately, Marcia is gaining back her senses. Tsukasa gives his hand. But Marcia again loses her senses and starts strangling Shota. Tsukasa witnesses how serious of a situation they all are in. With no other choice, he uses the gun. Marcia's body stops functioning and she collapses. The following day, Kazuki made it clear that Tsukasa and Isla aren't to blame for this. She tells him to not feel bad and that he will not do any work until Isla comes back from the hospital. From there, Tsukasa goes to meet Shota for the last time before he is sent to an orphanage. Shota still doesn't understand where is Marcia. With a fumbling voice, he asks Tsukasa when he will see Marcia again. He doesn't care about her memories and just wants to live with her again. However, Tsukasa didn't have the emotional strength to tell him the truth and just apologizes. From there, Tsukasa goes to check Isla's health. Isla had to be hospitalized after the damage she took from Marcia. Normally, for a Giftia it would have been nothing, but because Marcia's limiters were removed, her strength was unmatchable. Fortunately, Isla doesn't need much rest, and the next day, she joins the fieldwork. Out of nowhere, she compliments Tsukasa that his smile looks good. It's a very unexpected compliment, but Tsukasa shows his appreciation. Michiru finds it suspicious and asks Isla if she is being threatened to say such things. They tell her to not worry because they will protect her. However, Isla tells them that strangely she wants to see Tsukasa and wants to know more about him. Eru is excited. As per her years of experience, she tells Isla that she is in love. Together with her, they start stalking Tsukasa to know about him. Sherry notices someone staring at them. Thinking they are black market retrievers, she attacks Eru. With Sherry on guard, they find it hard to stalk Tsukasa in the office. So they decide to stalk him wherever he goes. Even in bathrooms, to note important details. At night, Isla again has a test. It's found out that she only has 40 days left. Kazuki tells Tsukasa about it. He is in total despair. He just started to recover from Marcia's death, and now Isla too. Just like other Giftias, Isla will be sent for retrieval. Kazuki asks Tsukasa what he wants to do. Does he want to continue the partnership or wait for a new Giftia? Without a second thought, Tsukasa chooses that he wants to spend every last second with Isla. Back at the dorm, Isla welcomes him with a smile. The next morning, Tsukasa pulls himself together and decides to ask Isla on a date. Everyone in the office supports him and wishes him good luck. After work, he gathers his courage and asks her out on their upcoming holiday. Isla doesn't understand what a date is. But if it's something she will be useful for, she is happy to come along. Tsukasa is very happy. There are still some days left before their day off, so as a motivation they both work very hard. Eru, on knowing their date, is very excited. With enthusiasm, she gives Isla some tips to go to a beach or watch a romantic movie or have a candlelight dinner. However, Isla has already thought of going to the amusement park. In her way, she wants to apologize to Tsukasa for the time she left rudely. Finally, the day arrives. Isla is looking adorable and Tsukasa couldn't take his eyes off her. After they reach the amusement park, first she takes him to a bench where she and Kazuki used to come when they were partners. Isla shares how a few weeks ago, while they were sitting, Kazuki dissolved their partnership. Even though Isla knew the reason was her being bad. Still, she was devastated and emotional. And also it was on this day she first met Tsukasa on the elevator. Tsukasa finally understands the reason Isla was crying back then. He cheers her up. And they start enjoying the day. They do a lot of fun things. Like eating ice creams, enjoying rides, and buying cute stuff. By the time it's evening, they are on their last ride. As the ferry wheel goes up, Isla points at the building where they first met. But suddenly, Tsukasa just falls on her. Isla starts blushing and reports an error. She tells him that she is not programmed for this. However, Tsukasa just collapses and starts breathing heavily. Isla takes him to their home. Tsukasa soon wakes up and apologizes. He feels pathetic for ruining the day as he was looking forward to their dinner. Isla tells him to not be sorry because today she enjoyed it very much. She reveals her time limit and apologizes. Tsukasa tells her he knows about it and that nothing can be done. He just wants to create memories with her as a partner. Tsukasa asks if she would like to go again another time. Isla with a smile agrees. The next day, Kazuki gives them a case where the owner and his Giftia have run away. This is a client of another branch. But because the Giftia's location is in this region, they both are going to complete this job with another retriever. After some time, they both meet Andy, who is a Giftia like Isla. As they were on the way, Eris sees Andy and starts to get nostalgic. She tightly hugs her and starts reminiscing how they used to have fun when they were little. However, Andy doesn't know who Eru is. She tells Eru that she is mistaken. Eru is devastated. She understands and apologizes for misbehaving. After Eru leaves, they all go to their job location. After hours of hard work, they spot the Giftia's location and end up in a factory. Andy, Tsukasa, and Isla successfully surround them. With no other choice, the client surrenders, and the Giftia is retrieved. The following day, Eru is talking with Andy. After yesterday's encounter, Andy got curious about knowing there is someone like her who exists in this world. And because of it, she now wants to know all about that person. Eru doesn't feel comfortable but reveals that the person was Olivia with whom she grew up. With her, she used to go to the festival where they had a lot of fun. Since Andy is in their region, she wants to enjoy the upcoming festival with Eru. However, Eru is surprisingly nervous. In a panic, she goes to Tsukasa and tries to convince him to join her. Tsukasa first calms her down. Then he asks what happened. Eru explains that Andy wants to go to the festival with her. Tsukasa is confused and asks what's wrong with that. Eru reveals that Andy is Olivia. After some research, she got to know that Andy a few years back was retrieved. Even though Andy doesn't remember the time she spent with her, Eru still remembers them. And for her, it would be painful to spend time with someone who resembles her old friend but doesn't even remember anything. However, she doesn't want to refuse the invitation, and if Tsukasa will come along, she will be more comfortable. After understanding the situation, Tsukasa agrees. And also Tsukasa wants to see whether Andy would regain her memories after sharing a moment with Eru. Because if it happens, hopefully, he can bring back Isla's memory also. Before going, Tsukasa asks Isla to join him at the fireworks. Isla has never been to festivals and has never seen any fireworks. She is excited to know they are colorful and loud. At night, they all meet up. They started by clicking some photos. Tsukasa checks the photo, but Isla is jealous to see him so close to Andy. As they are ready to proceed further, Tsukasa asks Isla to hold hands. But Isla refuses because she is not a kid who would get lost. But unfortunately, she ended up getting separated and got lost. While Andy is playing games, Eru and Tsukasa are seeing the pictures. Tsukasa is sad to see that even until now, Andy hasn't gained her memories. As the fireworks start to happen, he realizes he hasn't seen Isla for a very long time. He goes to search for her, and fortunately finds her sitting away on a bench covering her ears. Tsukasa apologizes for leaving her alone. He holds her hand and promises it won't happen again. She asks if Andy was able to regain her memories. Tsukasa refuses. She asks Tsukasa that wouldn't the memories they will create together will hurt him after she is gone. He hugs Isla and tells her that it would hurt a lot. But he wants to be with her until the very end. Tsukasa expresses his love. However, Isla couldn't comprehend what just happened. After she realizes what's the situation she is in, she starts to glow red like a tomato. In a panic, she rejects Tsukasa's feelings. The next day, Tsukasa is sitting soulless in the office. He hasn't recovered from yesterday's rejection. On knowing the situation, Hanada goes to help Tsukasa as a senior. But no matter what he says, there is no reaction at all. Later, Michiru goes and asks Isla if she's okay. Suddenly, Isla starts to sweat and panic. She is still in shock at what happened at the festival. It happened so fast that she couldn't compute the input and ended up rejecting him. But now she regrets it. Because no matter what she says, Tsukasa is not giving any response. She is worried and doesn't know what to do. Michiru advises her to take some time off from each other and try living separately for some days, as it will help both of them to realize how important they are to each other. So it's decided that Tsukasa will live with Zack, and Isla with Eru and Michiru for some days. Michiru as a friend encourages Tsukasa to get back to his senses. Tsukasa realizes that it's his last days with Isla. Even though Isla has rejected his feelings, he still loves her. On the other side, just like expected, Eru is having fun making Isla wear cute outfits and doing all the girly stuff she imagined doing with a friend. However, Isla is tormented. She was never programmed to do all this stuff. When Isla tries to go out, she notices Tsukasa coming out from Michiru's apartment. She misinterprets that Tsukasa is now going out with Michiru. She runs away saying they look good together. Fortunately, later Tsukasa is able to clear the misunderstanding. Isla tells him that she rejected him because of panic. But now she is calm and needs some time to rethink her decision. Tsukasa agrees. Back at the dorm, Isla shares that her heart pounds rapidly whenever she sees or thinks of Tsukasa. And as everyone says, if this feeling is love, she needs to stay away from him. Michiru is confused. She tells her that when someone is in love, they need to stay closer, not apart. Isla reveals that she has less than a month left, and by creating more memories she will only end up hurting Tsukasa. Michiru is devastated. She couldn't say anything and goes outside to clear her mind. Tsukasa on his way sees her. Michiru asks if he knew about Isla's time limit. Tsukasa replies yes. Michiru is frustrated to know this. She asks why he confessed his love even after knowing Isla's time limit. Michiru is frustrated because Tsukasa is going to end up getting hurt just like she was when her father died. Tsukasa tells her that he has made up his mind. He wants to spend their last remaining time together. Until now Michiru hasn't done anything helpful, but now she promises to support their love. Tsukasa on his way back is invited by Kazuki to have a conversation. After Isla also joins them, Kazuki tells them that from now on she is dissolving their team. The reason is office romance is not allowed. Tsukasa is against the decision. But Kazuki doesn't want any opinions. And from now Isla is going to be under her supervision, while Tsukasa will be paired up with Constance. The next morning, Kazuki wakes up and is devastated to see what she has done to Isla while she was drunk. After apologizing, they both go to the office. During the meeting, Kazuki officially announces her decision to dissolve Isla and Tsukasa's partnership. Tsukasa once again objects. But Kazuki doesn't want to hear anything else. After everyone leaves, she tells Tsukasa that he is the one who screwed up by confessing his love, and that he is in no position to demand anything. Afterward, Tsukasa and Isla go on their separate jobs. Constance and Tsukasa are quick to finish their work. On the other side, Kazuki and Isla's client is a wealthy businessman whose Giftia is a security guard. Before they proceed with the retrieval, he requests Isla to spend time playing with her. Isla agrees, but in return, she asks the owner to also join them. The owner agrees, and for the remaining time, they all enjoy. While watching them, Kazuki realizes something. Later, she tells Isla to spend her time with Tsukasa because she realized how important it is to spend the remaining time with their loved ones. However, Isla doesn't want to. She has made up her mind to stay away from Tsukasa as she doesn't want to hurt him. Kazuki understands it's her fault that Isla is saying this. She apologizes and explains that at first, she thought by dissolving the partnership they both would not get hurt from their separation. But now she realizes it would only make Tsukasa regret not spending the available time. Finally, Isla agrees. The next day she approaches Tsukasa and confesses her love. Isla tells Tsukasa that she wants to make memories with him until the very end. Tsukasa accepts her feelings and they both hug each other. The very next day, Isla goes to wake up Tsukasa. But he starts to blush on seeing the eighth wonder. Isla starts to get embarrassed and accidentally falls down the stairs. Later, they eat breakfast and after eating it, they head out to the office. On their way, as they were about to hold hands, Eru and others caught them in the act and start teasing them for it. At the office, Hanada also teases them by asking if they had a great sleep or couldn't able to sleep at all. At first, Tsukasa was confused, but when he realizes the meaning, he starts blushing and clarifies that nothing happened. Just then Sherry comes. She is pissed to see Hanada has so much time making dirty jokes. So she drags him away to their client. At night, Isla comes upstairs and hugs Tsukasa. She wants to stay close to him, and while holding each other they sleep. The next day, before heading to the office, they have breakfast and a pretty funny conversation. At the office, everyone starts giving Isla and Tsukasa presents like free movie tickets, dresses, and a pass to a resort. They want Tsukasa and Isla to spend their time together on the day off. Tsukasa is very grateful. And just as planned, with Isla he goes to watch a movie. It is a romantic movie and Isla is all blushed up. After watching the movie, she also wants Tsukasa to lie on her lap. It's pretty embarrassing, but Tsukasa agrees. Until the sun sets, they spend their day like this talking to each other. The next day, Tsukasa is called up by Kazuki for his next job. When he opens the file, he is in shock to see it's Isla's retrieval. There are still 2 days left, so Kazuki tells him to enjoy the time. Tsukasa goes to Isla to tell her about the retrieval. Isla doesn't react. She tells Tsukasa that in her remaining time, she just wants to live a normal life. Tsukasa knew it was coming, but to be honest, he doesn't have the strength to do the retrieval. He asks if they should run away to a place where no one can find them. But Isla hugs him. With a calm tone, she tells him to not cry because everything is going to be fine. Finally, Tsukasa understands and they both sign the agreement. The following day, to celebrate Isla's time at the office, everyone launch a party for her. Everyone enjoys the last moment with Isla and cherishes the moment. At night, after having so much fun, Isla got tired, so Tsukasa carry her on his back to their apartment. The sun rises again, and the day arrives of Isla's retrieval. Like any normal day, they begin the day by first exercising and having fun while bathing. With everything being ready, they head out for the retrieval. In the office, everyone came early morning to meet Isla for the last time. However, both of them have already left. They find a letter written by Isla in which she thanks them for the love and support they gave her. While reading it, no one is able to hold back their tears. In the amusement park, there's still time for the retrieval, so they both enjoy it as much as they can. Finally, the time has arrived. Isla gives the ring and tells Tsukasa to put it on her finger. Tsukasa cannot hold back his tears. Isla comforts him and encourages him to always smile as he looks the best in it. She smiles back, and Tsukasa finally put the ring on her. They share a kiss. And by the time they come down, Isla has gone to a long sleep. Kazuki comforts Tsukasa that he did a great job. 9 months have passed. Tsukasa is on his way to the office after completing his training. Everyone is happy to see Tsukasa again. With him back, Kazuki introduces him to his new partner. If you enjoyed the recap, please consider liking and subscribing this channel. Have a wonderful day ahead.